Hi! I have recently realized that I couldn't work properly for 2 years. Hi, my name is Christina, and on this channel I talk about my MS and not only. And today I'd like to talk to you about my recent realization that I haven't been able to work properly for about 2 years. And there are a few things which I think can explain that. Well, I have had aggressive MS for 17 years, and it's a lot just by itself, having aggressive MS and having aggressive MS for 17 years. And the thing is, when I was just diagnosed, the internet was a completely different place. So there weren't a lot of communities, there wasn't a lot of information. It was just like a mess, this, and that. You will usually have 20 years of active life after diagnosis, and that's about it. So I never paid attention to the word aggressive in my medical card, and I just continued living as well as I could. I was working, I was traveling, I was always making new friends. I was just trying to live my best life, even though after I think a couple of years of MS, my ADSS already was 3.5, and I used to have relapses like 4 times a year, but I thought it was normal. I thought everyone's MS was like that. It was much later with all those communities I realized that no, not a lot of people live like that with MS, but it is what it is. So my first 15 years were, I can't, like, were great for the circumstances I was in. I think I managed to do a lot of things. I managed to live a very interesting, adventurous life where I have met a lot of people, and maybe I should make a story channel about it, like a story series, because I have done absolutely crazy things. Even though with every year I could walk less and less and less and less and less, and but I was living, if you know what I mean. I was trying to live my life, and then I mean, of course I had depressive episodes when you just like, I'm so tired of having a mess, every day is a job, because everything takes me much more energy and everything makes me tired, and then I can't walk. But it was what it was. And then 2 years ago, when I came back from England back home to pick up my grandmother from hospital after she had a heart attack, I think that was like a finish line for me, because I picked her up, and she was bedbound. Like, she was bedbound. I just don't want to say these words, really. The last time I saw her before that, it was like a couple of months prior to her heart attack. She was very active and strong, and then I came back to a completely different person, and it was just me, because she was my last closest relative for life, and it was just me with my MS. At that moment it was like 15 years with MS. It was me and her, and she was bedbound. And during stress periods, our body just gives us all it can, like all the energy, all the strength, so we can cope with the stressful situation. I think that's what my body did, because taking care of a person who can only lie on the bed, it's mentally draining, it's physically draining, and doing it by yourself, it's like a blur. Those few weeks are like a blur. I don't know how I did it. I still like how I managed to pick her up, and to when like I was washing her. It was also very difficult for me emotionally, and So those few weeks, I don't want to go into details. I really don't know how I went through that with the mass the way it is. Like, I can barely stand for 10 minutes. So if I stand for 10 minutes, then I have to sit down for 10 hours to be able to continue with my life. But I managed, and then I had to organize a funeral. Again, myself, you always want to have like a family with you, you know, when you do it. But life is not like that sometimes, and sometimes you have to do such things yourself. And I didn't. I think it was the only time when I got drunk, when I got blackout drunk a couple of times. Those were the only couple of times in my life. I just, I didn't, I could not be at that moment. I couldn't be present. So I just got blackout drunk a couple of times after the funeral because I didn't know how to act. It wasn't the plan to get blackout drunk, it just happened, and I think it was helpful at that moment. And then I came back to England, and it was, I don't know if it was a good decision or not. Maybe I should have stayed a little bit longer, but I did what I did. I remember I came back, I was crying every day because I was missing my grandmother. I was like grieving everything. I was grieving the death of my grandmother, the death of my mother, my grandfather. I was grieving my mass, and it was, and also I was like physically tired. You know how mass can make you tired, and I was just crying every day for a few hours. I just could not. It's a mix of sadness, missing your home, missing your family, a mess, and like a mess leaves like a huge emotional and physical toll on you. And then I realized that I just couldn't talk to people. Like, you know, people sent me messages which I just could not reply. I had a few people who I was always happy to talk to, and I wasn't crying in front of them. So it's just like always two sides of me. You know, there's like happy Christina and sad Christina. So when I'm with people I'm comfortable with, it's just like nothing about me. It's just normal life. We talk about normal things. We do normal things. We go to bars, restaurants, theaters, museums, cinemas. And then when I'm not with these people, when I'm by myself, there is like constant crying and horrible emotional condition. And so there were very few people, not necessarily my close friends of course, but also a few people whose company I really enjoyed. And so that's how I spent my winter, not talking to any new people. I couldn't even open messages. I don't know, I just couldn't open text messages. It sounds very stupid. I just couldn't bear the fact that if I open it I will have to reply. I just didn't have it in me to reply. I spent like winter here, then I came back for a few months back home. I had the most amazing summer in my life. I'm so thankful to my friends. I still like it makes me sad that that summer is not going to happen again, but it was absolutely amazing. I was surrounded with absolutely amazing people, and but I still could not work, if you know what I mean, because work involves talking to people who outside this circle of people I'm comfortable with, so I could not work. And then I came back to England, and then it lasted and lasted. So I just, even now, I have moments when I just can't open messages outside this small circle of people I'm comfortable with. And I just, even if it's from hospital, I can't open it. It sounds very stupid, but I just can't. And now, like, you can live off your savings for some time, but now I come to realize that I need to get back to work. But now I'm making it difficult because I made it very difficult for myself, because I can't just get back, because I just stopped talking to lots of people I worked with, and of course they are not going to talk to me because I just ghosted everyone. So I literally ghosted everyone. I have almost zero work now, and so when I'm sort of ready to communicate with people again, I'm not sure that those people will be ready to communicate with me, and so that makes it like, that brings me to the point where I probably have to start thinking about a new career, which is again very problematic. What I found out, it's like, in life is sometimes full of magical, I don't know how to explain it, coincidences. So last year, when I still could not work, but it was that magic summer, and I still have account on Fansly, I just don't use it, and then my very niche content started to sell very, very well. So it helped me. I didn't make dozens of thousands. I made a few £1,000. But it did help me for a few months anyway. So it was like a period for a few months, and it suddenly stopped. But it was almost like the universe wanted me to feel more confident without a job, so I could do something else. And so that was it. So it was a small boost. It's not something I will probably continue doing, because it's also a job, creating content, posting content, promoting content. And I mean, as much as I like some parts of it, some parts I'm just not ready to do, because it involves talking to people, which is very, very difficult for me. Promoting, especially posting somewhere, is just like I can't bring myself to do it. So I know this sudden, my inability to communicate with people, yes, like, brought me to the situation when I have not been working, or have been working very, very little for almost 2 years. And I don't know what to do. Of course I will come up with some ideas, because I have had a very interesting life with lots of things. But this is it. So sometimes it's not just your physical condition which stops you from something, it's also your mental condition which stops you. I think MS took so much from me. And then that situation with my grandmother, I still cry sometimes, because she was my last family member. It's very sad, And I always laugh at people who cry in the camera, and I'm very afraid that I don't have the need to start a new life now, because I'm not so young. I feel much worse than I felt when I was just diagnosed, and I quite sincerely don't know what to do, but that's the reality. But at the same time, I might be very happy when I just meet with my friends, and you can never say that half of my life I spent crying and not able to work. But when I'm with people who like, so that's just what it is. I'm trying to figure out what to do. So yeah. I mean, maybe I should just get back to doing Fansly. But again, I will find reasons not to do it. So yeah, that's how it is. And I just shared a little piece of my life with you. And I hope to see you soon. Don't be sad. Life is too short to be sad, as I say. Bye!